Welcome to Flowering Memories. I am Jennifer Armentrout from Threaded Lines Quilt Shop in Montgomery, Texas. So glad to see you again. We are on block 5 and it has a few stripes in it, so we're going to get those all straight. This week is more about, dealing with directional fabrics, not a real in-depth look at it, but just a mindful look at it. And so let's get going with week 5 block. It's easy, I know, but you always have to pay attention. And I think that's the focus of this week, paying attention. And hopefully we can get through without Jack the Ripper, but we'll see. It seems every week I have to use Jack the Ripper. So, all right, let's get started, y'all. I'm having a lot of fun and I hope you are too. All right, everyone, here we are on block 5. This will get us halfway done. I'm excited about that. It's so very pretty. So I'm going to set myself up because I've had a couple of health issues, stress related. So I need to de-stress, and what a great way to do it by doing this block. This one kind of Sunday slow sew. I'm excited about it. Okay, so we have our block 5 ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and take my little clippy off and set our pieces up. So I've got the 2 pages we need from the pattern. One is the block assembly and one is the picture of it because I like to look at it. And even though I've sewn it, many times, I sewed a sample last year and I'm sewing it again this year, I still always look at my pattern just to make sure I'm doing it right. Okay, and we do have some stripes in this one that we need to be careful of. So I'm kind of getting everything separated. That's our background. Here's our middle piece, which is so beautiful. But this one we're for sure not working on right away. And I don't think we are these pieces either. I think that goes with that. And then we're working with our 4 patches. I don't even think we're doing these, but we are doing some of these and the stripes. Now, you'll see as we're going through this, the stripes are not always going to go the same way. There are some that are going to be sideways, and that's just, and I know in the picture it doesn't have them as going sideways. Maybe it won't, but with the stripes it gets, in how we cut multiple from one piece, you are going to get some sideways of these stripes, but that's okay. All right, so we're going to do the top and bottom of this unit first. So what I need, I always like to sew the flying geese first. I'm kind of weird that way. So we need, let's see, do we have 2 different kinds or all the same kind? I think it's all the same kind. Yes, it's all the same kind. So we need 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the rest are go to the center. So I'm going to set those aside. I always like to do my flying geese first. My cleaners came, so my foot's not in the right place. All right, there we go. And I am using a starter piece because I found, for whatever reason, my machine now is kind of nesting the threads, and so I'm going to use a little starter piece, and I probably need to get this cleaned, this machine cleaned pretty soon, but it's always good. It's a leader. I think they call it a leader. I think a lot of people use leaders, and I'm kind of liking it, so we're going to keep, that's what this little piece is for that I'm using. Okay, we're just going to sew these faux flying geese together, and that way all the pieces are kind of ready to go. All right, and again, I chain piece everything I can. Probably ad nauseum, y'all hear that. All right, since it's just a couple pieces, I'll just use my seam ripper. And my machine does really long threads, so I just trip those off. I don't trim really super close, but it's like almost an inch long, and I just like to take those pieces out. All right, so these I do press open, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. Get them all ready. Press open and press open, and that gets us ready for both the top and the bottom of this block. We need two. I probably could go ahead and do the other two, but I'm liking to keep the top and bottom separate from the middle just so we don't get confused about what goes where. But if you are perfectly fine with doing all of them at the same time, you go ahead and do that. Okay, so then our background piece is going on top of these, and we will just sew those. And again, take a look. There's one side that is a lot brighter than the other side. And something that I've come up against a little bit, and I'm not going to fight it. I'm not saying I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to do it. But it's this whole right sides together. So I'm writing patterns, and I didn't put on the rough first draft. I did not put right sides together. And I was talking about this with another pattern writer that I know, and I said, when in quilting, specifically in quilting, and these were 4 quilts, it's not like it was a different kind of project, have you ever not sewn right sides together? Isn't that a universally known thing? And we agreed, I guess for the very, 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 very first sew beginners, yes, but my patterns are not for the very first sew beginners. So it's an interesting little thing. I am going to put right sides together. I'm not going to fight that. I opened that up, and you know what? I was not supposed to open that up. This is supposed to be ironed to this side, so we're going to fix that real quick. I was talking and wasn't thinking about it. All right. Press that one down, and I want to let this sit for just a second. I'm going to spray it with my magic spray just so it stays down. Sometimes when I do that, I like to just spray it just a bit so it does what I want it to do. And the magic spray is not a true starch. It's a starch alternative, but I really, really, really like it. So I use it quite a bit. Okay, those pieces are done. We're just going to set them right there because we are going to use them. Now we are using our 4 patch squares. That's for that side, and this is for this side. And we are going to sew, and it looks like it's going to work out. I didn't start with my leader. It worked out that time, so. And we can sew them all on. The stripe is going to coordinate with the stripe, meaning it's going to go on that side. It's not going to go on the side with just the flowers. All right, and then we do these, and they end up popping down, but that's okay. We'll put it on this side. And one more. Yes, yes. I almost on this one would prefer the stripe go the same way than the flowers, but we'll see. I think we'll see if they're the right way. I'm not real sure about that. Let's check that out. And these are ironing, pressing towards the 4 square. And remember, this is so we can match up those seams on the next step. Okay. Yeah, no, they all ended up right. It's a miracle. Okay. Although it doesn't want to go to the 4 square, it's just one little seam. And again, it makes the matching up when we do the middle to this top and bottom. just nestles so nicely. All right. Not much left to this one, to the top and bottom. We just have to sew these pieces together. Because it's such a simple block that doesn't take that long, that's why I go ahead and iron or press in between. And that way I don't have to worry about it being in the way. And the press job after isn't as difficult either. Okay, those are done. So then when you're sewing this together, it's very important to make sure that your flying geese are going the right direction. So this hooks up like this. Is that the same? Yeah, okay. Well, that seam is a little bulky because I pressed, oh no, it's not, it's opposite. There we go. So good. All right, here we go. Let's get my leader in. I don't want to take chances. And my stiletto. All right, that's one. And then we have another one here going like this. We'll go ahead and sew this one. This will be the bottom. But they are the same, and then you just flip it. All right. And this one, we also press to the 4 square. And it should lay pretty flat because those seams were nested. Okay, that one. Oh, I left the little leader on. Trim that off. All right. Actually, this way. And when y'all are getting this, I'll be at jury duty tomorrow. I've gotten selected and I have a jury duty summons for tomorrow. So excited. All right. So these are the exact same pieces like this. And we have to put the other side on, and it faces it like this. All right. And we will, this finishes the top and bottom, which is kind of nice. It's coming together so quickly. Okay, one more piece. Turn that over, top and bottom. I hope y'all are finding it coming together a little faster and that you're actually looking forward to sewing these. It's nice when you know how to do it. It's kind of a peaceful and relaxing sew rather than a, I gotta figure this out, I gotta figure this out. So that's the lovely thing about this quilt. All right. All right. Finally press, just give that another little go. Pressing that out. And this could be the top. This one looks pretty good. My end pieces are the ones that I guess the iron is a little bit cooler at that tip and it doesn't quite press down, so I like to give it a chance. Now this is the bottom. See, I just turned it over and it looks great. Here's the top and here is the bottom. All right, time for the center. And we'll put that over there and bring all these goodies over here. We know first thing we're doing are these faux flying geese, so we'll go ahead and get that going. Just set it right there before we do anything else. All right, all lined up. And next one. And remember, on this one, the background sews to the other side. So that's important to remember as we're sewing this. I know the first time I did it, that's the little snafu that I did, was I was all cocky and I did them all the same, and uh-oh, here comes Jack the Ripper. That's why I do them separately, because I don't want to get that mixed up. That was the top and bottom, this is the middle. I keep my brain separated and thinking about it. So with the top, we pressed to this side, the background, but on the middle, we're going to be pressing to this side like this. So go ahead and get that going. Make sure my background is right on the right side. Yes. It's a little tricky to see that. If you don't have decent lighting, it's hard to tell. All right. Okay. Just snapping these off. Okay, and again, we're pressing this not open, but toward the background. Kind of let those fabrics lay really, really flat and not bunch them up. And it works perfectly for when we're nesting. Isn't that the greatest? Okay, I lost a slight bit of my tips on here. Not enough for me to worry about. Okay, so we've got these, we have done those. We're going to set that aside. So now we've got these go on the top and bottom of that. We can go ahead and finish that. Why don't we do that and we completely finish this block. This goes on the top and bottom. I wonder how many of y'all are already finished with the blocks. I would like for y'all to tell me. I know that Chris is. I know Kristen got a couple done beforehand, but I don't know where she's standing. Sharon, I don't know where you are. I know there's, and I haven't really heard from Valerie either. I don't know if she started. And there's a few more that I'm not seeing y'all in the group, so I'm sorry I can't remember your names. But let me know where you are. Let me know what point you are. I want to see, you know, I know that we're all using the same fabrics pretty much. I don't know if anybody's doing anything else, any other fabrics. I want to see your blocks. I want to see how far you are. I'm not sure when our last date is. I haven't looked at the calendar in a little while. I'm hoping we get done before festival, but we'll see. If not, no big deal. I just may have to record a little early, so because during is kind of crazy for me during festival, because we do have a booth there. All right. Okay. All right. That's done. Now we can truly just set these aside and they are ready to go. All right. Now with this one, oh yes, because the top and bottom here, we can do this too. Okay. I thought I had too many, but I don't. See, this is why you have to look at the pattern. You don't always remember. Okay, these go to the top and bottom of these. I'm gonna do it that way. It just fit better. And here. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this big one because it can all be done at the same time. Easy sewing here, top and bottom. Let me make sure. Yeah, I think I want it to go that way, so this is fine. I can choose as long as I'm doing the top and bottom and not the sides. And it's not really a directional fabric, but I think I liked one direction more than another. And you can choose that based on your cuts. If you like one direction more than the other, and just be cognizant of that, and be sure you're sewing to the right side to get that direction that you want with the middle fabric. All right, I'm not going to press now. I'll press both of them together. All right, and we continue. Remember when we first started, we were like, oh, this is so confusing. That's what I love about these. Once you get going with them, you can really just keep going and keep going. Such a nice, easy pace, though. One a week is not too bad. All right. We've got all that sewed. Now we have to press it. I guess this week's tip is just kind of slow down and make sure your fabrics are going the direction you want them to go. We've got a couple of fabrics that are directional here. And this middle piece is not really directional, but like I said, I kind of liked this direction more than this direction or this direction. Just my preference. Okay, everything presses to the center on this one. To the center. Okay, and over here. And I'm pretty sure, yep, it goes to the center on the other one as well. Got that done. And we are ready to start piecing the center together. We have finished all the blocks. Just like that. Pretty simple, pretty simple. Okay. So this first piece goes here like this. Remember, we don't want two of those together. We want it to go like that. Okay, away from those. And these match up so nicely. We will probably grab and do the other side as well. for this one, get your stiletto. Anytime it flaps up like that, go ahead and use your stiletto. Your seam ripper might do it. It's just got a tougher, it's not usually as long. Well, that's about as long on mine at least. Sometimes they're not as long. The stiletto has a longer handle. I fully am holding it. So I guess ergonomically it works better. But that's interesting. It's about as long as your seam ripper. I thought it was a little longer. That's interesting. Oh, I didn't get the other side. That's okay. Here we go. This one, even though it's opposite, meaning it'll be turned the opposite way, it doesn't matter. They still go together the same way, and you can just turn it over. These fabrics are not directional, so it does not matter. And I'm noticing something here that I am going to stop. I sewed this one wrong. I did not check. I think I was talking and did not check. It'll be a quick fix, but I did do it wrong. What I did was I sewed the background on wrong. That background is tricky and you can't always tell the difference easily. But as I was sewing this together, I was like, nope, we're gonna redo that. It will look better because it will be very noticeable when you put the quilt together. It's worth taking a few minutes. And again, this will be ready in a jiffy. All right. Back in the game. And this side, take the thread out. Okay, quick press and we're back there. So that wasn't even a 5-minute fix. It was a minute and a half. Okay. And really it wants to go towards that center anyway because that's the way the bottom and top went. So there we go. All right. Line it up the correct way. Everything's looking beautiful. That looks much better. Okay. And second time's a charm. And all I can say is at least I caught it then and not when it was all put together, which that has happened several times with several people I know, including myself. Okay, so now it's done. Right? And these units press towards the outer piece, the outer sides, which makes sense. And when I was doing this pressing to be able to nest, I looked at that. I looked at, okay, this has a lot of seams. This one really doesn't. It's nested, and so it lays kind of flat anyway. That's going to be better for nesting the top and bottom. All right, let's get this one done. And then we are going to sew that middle piece on to each one of these, and the middle part is done. Then it's time for us to put the entire block together. Those I pin just so I don't lose. I did a, it was Sweet Tooth. I was doing the sample for it. And I sewed the two half pieces together, you know, and I didn't pin because I was in a hurry. It was literally 1/4 of the inch off. So the points, because there's points that meet up in the center. I ended up taking the whole thing apart, just the two halves, pinning it, and then it was dead on. So pinning works. Pinning absolutely works. All right, this is the outside, and this is the outside. So this is how we're doing it. Top and bottom the middle section like this. And let's sew it together and then we'll be done. So the top and bottom's pinning. Well, let me know if you're a pinner or if you're not. I'm kind of both. I don't pin for small sews like this where it's matching up pretty easily and it's really not that far. You could pin here, but I'm minding my P's and Q's as I'm going, so I'm not going to pin. But much longer than this, and give me one more intersection, seam intersection, and I'm pinning. I'm definitely a believer in pins. Okay, I'm not going to press it, just going to open it up. Make sure I'm going, whoops, it's going to be this way. Make sure I'm going the right direction with it. Everything looks great. The flying geese are going the right way. It all looks coordinated. Okay, that's how I'm going to do it. Take a second and do that. It will save you a lot of heartache and a lot of seam ripping. Okay. All right. There we go. Now we're pressing. And for this, we are pressing toward the center. Toward the center. Always toward the center. Okay. Looks really good. I think that looks fabulous. And the good thing about this block that I really, really like, other than how I want this center block to do, this is upside down, right, for me. But if it's a true whatever, or if you don't matter which direction this goes, you could flip it either way and it would be right. But this is the direction I want it to go. So this is the top and this is the bottom for me. You base this on what your center block looks like and how you fussy cut that, if you fussy cut that. Okay. We are going to do the top here. And when I pin pretty much just at every intersection. If there's a long place in between, I'll put another pin, but this isn't very big, so I'm not worried about it too much. I think this one is not going to match up real well because it looks a little bulky there. Maybe not. All right. Oops. Put a pin there. And last one right here. Make sure that feels real good. You shouldn't feel lumps when you're matching these up together. Okay, one at a time. I'm taking my time with this. I'm not going to try to do both at the same, well, you can't do both at the same time, but I'm not going to get overly zealous on this. This is where it looks really good and ties together, so I'm taking my time, using my stiletto when I need to. And you slow down as much as you need to and kind of reset the fabric if you need to. When I do sew-alongs, it's not about the race. It's not about how quickly you can sew. It's about taking your time and enjoying the process. Not getting frustrated if you have to use your seam ripper. Because this is what quilting's about, right? This is our enjoyment. This is the fun part. All right, let's see how that looks. Looks great. Remember I said that when I was putting it together. I think that seam's going to be a little bit off. It just seemed a little bulky, but I'm okay. It's less than 1/8 of an inch. Looks great. That one's spot on. You do a little quilting on it. Less than 1/8 of an inch doesn't matter. Okay. I'm not going to press it. I'm going to, since it's, 20 inches long, I am going to wait to press it at the big iron. Okay, I turned it over. Right? And we're putting on the bottom, so it looks the same. It doesn't look any different from when we put it on the top, because this is actually upside down. But that's okay. We're making sure that it's going the right way. And then we can pin and sew it on. And then we are done with block 5. Ooh. Amazing, isn't it? Especially taking the slow pace, you actually get done with your projects. When I did Gravity in 2024, it was ended up being a 14-month sew-along. We finished everything in 12 months, but then I gave them a couple of extra months to finish. And it was amazing. There were about 200 people that signed up. And I'm still getting people finishing now, even though it's late, but they're finishing. And there was about, I think we're almost up to 80. 80, that's huge for a sew-along. A lot of people don't finish their sew-alongs. It ends up in the back. So that's why I've taken to these slow sew-alongs. And I know this one's not super slow. We're doing it every week, but it is slow, and that you could probably finish this in about 2 weeks. 2 weekends working on it, and you could probably finish it. Maybe 3. There's a lot at the beginning. It's not much now because we've prepped everything, but there was a lot at the beginning. But especially once you get through that, you could probably finish it in a weekend. But that's okay. When we don't push it and take our time, we really are more likely to finish it. That includes me. Maybe only me, I'm not sure. But I think with Gravity I learned, and so many people were amazed that they actually finished. And they told me, I never finish any sew-alongs, but I finished this one. And Gravity was a quite difficult one to do. All right, let's see. Nope, this is the top and bottom. There it is. How pretty is that? And all our stripes are going the right way, and all our seams are matching up really good. That one's a little off. It's a little off, but not anything for me to worry about. 1/8 of an inch or less. If it was 1/4 of an inch off, I might try, but not for this one. All right, so I am going to, well, let's try to press it out a little bit. Oh, did I put which way we're pressing this? I think we're going to press it down. I need to write that note in my on my pattern, because I didn't write that one, that I want to press this one down. I think it just looks better, but I'll give it a good press with the magic spray at a later time. This is just a general press so we can see how the seams set. I really, in this collection, I love how she introduced the black and she tied that into some of the black in the flowers. I think it cuts all the pink a little bit and really makes it a more appealing to the eye to have these colors, these different colors. So I'll show you what I mean. So see, in these flowers right here, it's got the black that ties into, that's why she put the black stripe. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I think it's wonderful. Another week of flowering memories down. All right, we will see you next week. I'll tell you all about jury duty, and I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. If you're local, come to the birthday party. We're having a birthday party this weekend. If you're online, I'll have a few things for you, but just stay tuned. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.